Hello race fans and welcome to the 2005 MSDGC Ace Skins. Here's the competition we've all been waiting for, featuring David Feldberg driving on hole 1, Walter Haney, Brian Schweberger, and Steve Brinster. David Feldberg parks hole 1, making it look nice and easy. That's about a 355-foot shot over water. If you leave it short, you're in trouble. If you go too long, you're in trouble. Walter Haney fires that about 35 feet past. Here's his putt to push with David Feldberg, and we are moving on to hole 2. Here's David Feldberg driving. David Feldberg is from Oregon. He's played in 9 NT events this year, finishing in the top 5 in 5 of them, winning 2 of them, and throwing this drive right over the top of the basket. We move on to Walter Haney. Walter Haney is from North Carolina. Hasn't finished outside the top 10 in an NT or an A-tier event since 2001. He lays this up nicely 15 feet from the pin. David Feldberg hits his birdie. So it's up to Walter Haney to push this $150 skin. Makes his putt, and we are moving on to hole 3. We've got a couple of other players playing here. Here's Steve Brinster. The very nice drive, sneaking through the trees, fading back left, landing 5 feet from the pin. Unbelievable. Here's Schweberger to push with Brinster. Give it a chance. No! Falls off left. Here's David Feldberg to push a $200 skin with Steve Brinster. Ooh. Steve Brinster has won our first skin. $200 right in your pocket. Steve Brinster won the skins competition with $550 last year. He's off to a good start this year. Here's his drive on hole 4. He gets through the gap. Fades off left. Gets a skip. Hang out. Just short of the water. David Feldberg off left. Walter Haney off right. Brian Schweberger off right. Off left. Here's Steve Brinster for a $50 skin. Second one in a row off the basket. Nice run by Stevie. Moving on to hole 5, Steve Brinster on the tee pad. Steve Brinster is a card-carrying NIFA member hailing from New Jersey. Steve Brinster puts it up there. It's fading, it's turning back to the right just over the basket, leaves himself about a 15-footer. David Feldberg is in the drink. Yep. Walter Haney throws a nice looking drive. Is that high enough? That is not high enough. That is in the water. He is OB. Schweberger to push with Brinster, who's got about a 15-footer. Puts it up left. My goodness, Steve Brinster, his last 3 holes, he has taken all of them. He's won, how much is that, $8 million so far for Steve? No, it says $300 so far for Steve Brinster. He's won every skin so far.
Turnover.
And he's got a beautiful drive on hole 6. That's turning perfectly off the Guardian trees. Actually hit both the Guardian trees. A horrible kick. Walter Haney gets a nice kick. He is not OB. Schweberger is out of it. Here's Walter Haney's second shot. Up and not quite all the way over. He's in the shoal right there. You can actually see his blue disc right there. Brinster needs to get this close to push.
Get it.
Yeah! That's close enough. Steve Brinster!
Get it.
Call it in. Steve Brinster is winning everything right here. Already up to 350.
You'll make the putt.
Humanity!
Here's Dave Feldberg driving on hole 7. The beautiful drive. Nicely placed. Here's Walter Haney on hole 7. Straight up the gut. Settles in nicely, 15 feet short of the basket. That's a push. Here's Brian Schweberger going for the ace. Can it hang on? Get there. Oh, just short left.
Nice.
It's a good run, though. We move on to hole 8. Steve Brinster. Then very nice drive with that turn right. It is turning right with that drop. It is not dropping fast enough, just over the top of the pin. David Feldberg trying to push with Steve Brinster.
Hook up. Get it.
And that is going to be an easy push.
Shot, Davey.
And here's Brian Schweberger. Ching! Nice academic putt by Brian. And here's Steve Brinster for the Hobie. And here's Dave Feldberg. Has anybody ever missed one of these? Not today. Moving on. And here's Walter Haney driving on hole 9. You want to get up and over the hill and then turn it slightly right. That is a perfect drive, setting himself up for a great look. Brian Schweberger throws a thumber. Very unorthodox on this hole. And a very good result. Unbelievable. I'd clap if I were not sitting here talking into my... Anyway. Steve Brinster with a nice up. Right at the base of the pin.
Nice.
Easy par for Steve Brinster. Here's Walter Haney. He's actually making a run. Does that have a chance? Pin high. Oh, just past the basket. Into the drink. Brian Schweberger for a $150 skin. Short. Nice run, Brian. Dave Feldberg with an academic putt, making it look easy. We move on to hole 10. Dave Feldberg driving at the castle. He puts it way up there. It comes all the way back down over the basket. It's an easy deuce for Dave Feldberg. Here's Walter Haney. Whoa.
Can't even get there.
Brian Schweberger. Can he get the ace that Brinster got last year? No, just short. Let's see that again. Nice shot by Brian Schweberger. He is parked. Here's Dave Feldberg to push. Well, hey there. That leaves Walter Haney to push.
Can't putt again, Dave. Come on.
And the castle is in his way. It's a very interesting shot. He's got to throw that between two flower beds into the basket. And he does. Nice push by Walter Haney. We are moving on to hole 11. Here's Brian Schweberger driving. That is a huge drive. A beautiful turn. A nice slight fade at the end. Taking advantage of the entire downhill slope. Getting a big old high five from our Spirit Award champion. And here's Dave Feldberg. He wants to get right in that gap and then cut left. Oh, it got in the gap and it would have gone farther, but it hit a couple trees. Brian Schweberger to get close for the... No! He gets a little rejection there. Here's his third shot. Up and around. Off the basket! Brian Schweberger just misses par on the 820-foot hole 11. Here's Steve Brinster. He just wants to get close. He's throwing out of the shul. Where's he landing? Where's he landing?
Shot.
And we go to David Feldberg, who has a chance to win a $250 skin with this putt. Off the post! I wouldn't necessarily call that a putt, but I'd call it a heck of a run. We go to Steve Brinster on hole 12. $350 for Brinster. We got a $300 skin on the line.
Are we going to the line?
Steve Brinster throws a beautiful shot, curving in left, skipping just left of the basket. It's pin high. That is an amazing drive on hole 12. Just getting in that gap. Dave Feldberg puts it way up there. That's got a nice fade on it. Comes back left. Just short of the opening. Left himself about a 35-40 footer downhill at the pin to try to push with Brinster. Brian Schweberger might have the best shot of all of them if he can get a skip in. Oh, off the tree! Yeah, that was so close. Brian Schweberger to push with Brinster. Off the top of the basket. Here's Dave Feldberg trying to force a putt by Steve. Put a little pressure on him.
Yeah, Dave!
Nice floaty float. Here's Steve Brinster to push $300 with David Feldberg.
Oh, no.
Ugh. Low. David Feldberg with that great putt has won $300. Putts like that make you USDGC champion, I'll bet. Steve Brinster with a nice drive, a good skip. He's setting himself up nicely on hole 13. Got about a 35-40 footer coming out of the gully. Walter Haney, a beautiful straight drive, drops down a little bit. That's going to fade left. He could have a great shot at birdie on this very tricky hole 13. Brian Schweberger, up, and away. Brian is consistently one of the most entertaining disc golfers on the disc golf circuit today. That thing just keeps on going, cuts through the woods, top left of the screen. That is in the drink. Brian Schweberger has gone OB. He is out of this hole. Here's Dave Feldberg for birdie. Off the basket! A left to right curving putt. Off the basket. Dave Feldberg with one of the greatest runs of the tournament. Steve Brinster for birdie. That leaves Walter Haney with this putt for a skin to put him on the leaderboard. Short. We are moving on. We got a $100 skin on the line. David Feldberg driving on hole 14. This is one of the new holes on the Airplanes course. He gets it around the Lone Pine, coming in high, bouncing at the base of the basket, setting himself up for a gimme birdie. Only Board Solang would miss that putt. Walter Haney with a beautiful drive, also around the Lone Pine, a little bit short, skips out of the shul, left himself about a 15-footer. Here's Schweberger with a thumber birdie run, no thank you. Walter Haney to push the skin with David Feldberg. He could gack this and give him another $100. He does not. We move on to hole 15. $150 on the line. Steve Brinster with a beautiful drive right down the gut. Skips nicely within about 12 feet. Brian Schweberger with another beautiful drive. Is that going to keep turning? It does keep turning. Gets a very nice skip and lands 4 feet from the pin. That is an unbelievable drive. Dave Feldberg with an academic birdie putt. Birdie! Boom! Moving on to hole 16. You want to go straight down the alley, curve right before that big tree. That big tree. That's right, that was so close. Dave, so close. Steve Brinster with a beautiful drive, turning that thing, having it fade back left, leaving himself about a 25-footer for birdie. Brian Schweberger, he gets all of that. If it fades back left in time, and a kick to the right. Brian Schweberger needs this to force a putt by Brinster for a probable push. High. That leaves Steve Brinster with this putt for $200. I wonder if a 25-footer is harder to hit with $200 on the line. No! Yes! Birdie! Steve Brinster's $550. David Feldberg with the drive on hole 17. He puts that up and around, fades left nicely, right under the basket with a little roll. That is a gorgeous drive. Here's Brian Schweberger with another big drive on hole 17. Left to right, past the basket, saved by the laurel, about 10 feet from the pin. We're moving on to hole 18. Never mind the way 17 was designed to be thrown. These guys are just changing the rules. Steve Brinster with a very nice drive. Don't go OB. Woo! Turns just right next to the wall. He should be able to save a par from there. David Feldberg, is he going for it? Doesn't quite look like he's going for it, but that's a heck of a drive. Skips off the wall. Out of bounds by a foot. David Feldberg has gone OB. Walter Haney is going for everything with his old 360. Doesn't quite get enough of that. It fades left, leaving himself with a heck of a tough upshot onto that island green. And Brian Schweberger.
Come on. Yeah, go.
Yeah. Get through.
Wow. He is inbounds by a foot. David Feldberg out of bounds by a foot. Stevie Brinster for the birdie. Just leaves it short. Easy par. Walter Haney's got to do a tight right to left. Woo! He is in there also for the easy par. David Feldberg with an academic putt. Oh, another post. David Feldberg off the post. Here's Brian Schweberger for a $150 skin.
Get it.
Get it! Schweberger is deuce hole 18, putting onto the island green through the guardian trees. $150 winning some skins. Thank our sponsor Innova for sponsoring the skins event. They really stepped up and made this whole thing possible. Thank you to Innova. Winning $150 with an amazing hit on hole 18 that you just watched on the DVD. $150 going to Brian Schweberger. He's in the shower. They're in the shower. Together. There's only one shower. Winning $300 in the ace skins, David Feldberg. And our big winner in the ace skins for the second year in a row, winning $550, Steve Brinster.
Oh, boys.